All right, good afternoon, good morning. I hope you're doing well. Today is Thursday, the 24th of April 2024, 2025. Sorry for the delay. I was doing some meditation and I just got out, so I'm a bit all over the place. All right, so let's start with the dollar index. With what happened yesterday, I think there's a likelihood that we will go up one more somewhere here, depending on how price will behave itself inside this gap. So watch this gap here. It should send price up again to somewhere here. If we close, okay, the keyword is close. If we close through, let me draw the line and give it a price. If we close below 99.28, okay, if we close below 99.28, we will go lower to somewhere here. Okay, so as it stands, I'm looking for higher prices on dollar and lower prices on the foreign currencies, especially euro. So if you look at euro, it's opposite to dollar. If euro closes above 1.1386, price will go higher. If not, then we should be dropping down to attack this equal low here and then trade to this candle's high. So this equal low and this candle's high, that is where price should drop to, right? And that's the level we are watching to see. If they close above, then we will probably go high again. And in terms of trade ideas, go with the flow. So selling, yeah, with your stop above this candle's high, the up candle. If you want to be conservative, then place it above this high. If not, then place it above the up candle and then target this level. And then you're taking you're gonna take some partial below this low. Now, if we happen to trade through the gap, then this will create another gap over here. A pullback to it will send price higher. Now, the question is why these two sides? Because based on the higher time frame, we are still bullish. So if you trade through this, we will resume the bullishness. For the near term, I think it might retrace, which is what it's likely doing, because I don't think the dollar index is reversing. I don't think this is reversing to come all the way up here. I don't think so. It might just be a retracement, and in that retracement, we can even come to this old low here. We can come to that old low and still be valid to continue going lower, because on the weekly there's still momentum to the downside. Okay, now if you ask me which side am I leaning on right now as it stands, I don't have that. Okay, I don't have that because the momentum has slowed down. So I said I am consolidation to the downside. Okay, consolidation to the downside. That's my stance. So I don't have whether going up or going down definite, like we have been when we were still up here. Right now it's a consolidation to the downside. Any of them can happen. With that said, British pound can also do the same thing. On British pound, you're actually looking at this up candle. It has traded through the gap with this candle, but based on the daily time frame, we've traded through a fair value gap here, right? And that can also act as resistance and then send price lower to the next gap which exists over here. Now if we close above this candle's high, which is Wednesday's high, then these two down candles will be a reaccumulation, similar to gold. If you remember gold, when we had those two, I think it was 3 or 2, yeah, these 3 down candles, and then we resumed going higher. So watch British pound to see if we can close above this high, then we are likely going to continue going up. These 2 down candles will be a reaccumulation. Now, because of this equal high that they've engineered, this one and that one, price will still come back up. Okay, it might just retrace, but it will still come back up for this equal high. So more reason why I'm still bullish. All right, and I think I've shared this several times. Sometimes price can come very close to taking out the high, the original consolidation, and then they will do some crazy silly move back down to take everybody out before ultimately going for the high. So I'm looking for a run for this equal high. This might just be a small pullback and then we resume going up again. And it can set the stage for the May reversal or May seasonal move to the downside on the British pound, because this can create the down and the up, then we get into May, then we break, then we go down. Okay, that can be the price action that is unfolding now. So let's watch the last down candle here. And something that can also help bring that into something that can help bring it into manifestation is today at 1:30 we have unemployment claims at 1:30, which will affect the dollar. So let's see how at 1:30 that news event will affect the dollar, and we will see how we will proceed after that. It will give us a kind of a liquidity injection to give us more information as to what I'm saying. Are we going to go up or are we going to go down? The Australian dollar, this right now I think is stuck in a consolidation and is trading above the breaker. So maybe price will stay in a bit of consolidation before resuming going higher. Okay, before I resume going higher. I don't think we will drop from here. I don't think so. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I think we will go higher. It might be news event that might do that, because once they keep the dollar index in a consolidation, they can send this higher, and that will cause the crosses, the Australian dollar crosses to actually move. So Aussie CAD can move, Aussie New Zealand can move, Aussie dollar can move, Euro Aussie can move, Pound Aussie can move. All right, so let's see. That might be what is happening, where they've actually paused. Now, in the very early stage of the live sessions back in January, I was reluctant to talk about this here, but let me actually talk about it now, because it's taking forever for me to express myself as I want to due to certain things. Now, whenever we have a breaker, there's two things that can happen. One, they can just trade through it and then continue going up, or two, before they go up, price will reaccumulate here at the breaker. Okay, so what I'm saying is, whenever price takes out a low and is going up at this level, the up candle, it's either they will trade through it and then create a gap down here, or they will get to this level and then reaccumulate, meaning they're going to print a down candle here. Now, this is my theory, and I don't think I heard anybody talk about it. This is my theory, right? I don't say my theory, but this is what I think is happening. That when the move to the downside occurs, the up candle that is left up here, that is the one that is basically used to send price down, or smart money sells into the rally. And the last one is where most of the sales takes place, and then price goes down. So by the time price comes back up, this sell here will now be in profit. So they can close the sell and then accumulate longs here. So the up candle will close behind the scene, because you cannot get rid of the up candle. The up candle will close and then they will accumulate with a down candle here. So it's like a transfer of order from the breaker to the order block here. So the transfer of orders from this up candle prior to the move down to the orders that will be packed up to send price up here. Okay, so when you see a breaker forming, most of the time or sometimes price will either come back up, accumulate longs here, and then continue going, or they will trade through it and then come back to it in future to then close the long, the shorts, accumulate longs here, and then go up. Right, so that is my understanding of what happens when we run down and then we reject and we come back up to the last up candle. Again, it's not exactly what it is, but that's basically how I see it. That's how I interpret it. Okay, so going forward, that's that's what I'm expecting on the Australian dollar. New Zealand dollar, something similar, but this is just a reaccumulation. I think we are still inside that 618 to 79 retracement level, and I think we should be going up. Yesterday I was convinced we were going to take out this high, but then we came back down, and today we've come back up. So watch the gap here. Watch the gap, this level, especially the low of that candle. Okay, if they can close through it, then we can continue going up, because on the daily we are still holding this down candle, right? So it's an order block that's still being held. Now, this is not how price reverses. Okay, so this is in my opinion, accumulation taking place, and we are likely to go up here and here. So that's why I'm still bullish on this pair. New Zealand CAD is the same thing. I think I said they were going to go there and there. Yesterday they did manage to get up there, but it came right back down again into a nice gap down here and then resume going up. So this has been, just retracing to that same OTA level to continue going up. So nothing has really changed for me on this pair. We are still looking for 0.83455 as the upside objective. I think I spoke about Aussie CAD as well. Same thing. I was expecting them to break above this, and if they do and they come back down because they took out this low and took out that low, this will act as resistance and then take us up again, and you can see that happening to go back up. Euro Aussie, yesterday we had a nice move to the downside to attack the lows. I couldn't get in again, it just went down, went straight down, which was very good to see. My second trade or third trade here happened to hit the target. Now I've closed all the trades. I wanted to get in yesterday during the afternoon session. I wanted to get in here, but I listened to my instincts that we are taking out a weekly low and it's Wednesday, so it could reverse, because if you look at price action from Monday, we never went up first. Price did not go up first, so taking out the previous week low could cause price to reject and come back up. And I took out the sell limit that I had here, and then price went through it. But I still suspect we will be going down. I still suspect we will be going down. So looking for, watch this candle here, right? Watch that within the next 34 minutes. If it can close below this, then I think we will resume going down, and the next downside objective will be this candle's low. And then let me double check. Yeah, so the next downside objective will be this candle's low and then this candle's high, if we get the close below this up candle. Okay, so watch that. Pound Aussie, I'm not a big fan, but if you watch this high to this low, that's a nice pullback. It's looking like a nice decent OTE. Still hovering around that OTE level. 618 is here, so selling this is not bad with your stop loss above this down candle, and then looking for a move here and then a move to here. So this can be your downside objectives. I think I like it. Yeah, it's nice. Probably share it in the portal for everybody. Okay, so that is that. We have about 3 minutes before the high impact news on the dollar, so we will observe that once we hit 129. Moving on to gold. I think gold yesterday I spoke about price dipping into this area, right? And then potentially rejecting to resume going up again. And that's what you're seeing. So the move down into that and then the rejection. Now on the lower time frame, I couldn't get an entry because the buy pattern couldn't form close to it. You can see we have the last up candle here and then we move all the way down. So this would be the break on the 15 minutes. On the hourly, it looks like that. Okay, so we dipped in, shift market structure or break. Okay, so we should start going back up again. Maybe a pullback to somewhere here can happen, and then you look for a continuation to the upside. Okay, so gold, I think we will go back up again. Watch here. If we pull back, watch there for a continuation to the upside. We've got, I think, 10 seconds. So let's observe the news and then we continue. Okay, I don't think we had any impactful event, so let's carry on. With that, I think we can pay attention to this gap here. That's a gap formed in London, and that could hold price and then send price down. It's kind of like I said, it might be a consolidation because there's also this London session, I'm sorry, New York session gap here. So we could stay in here for some time, and that will give potential move on the crosses, because if they stay in a consolidation, then it will be the crosses that will be moved. So pay attention to the crosses that I've mentioned, aka Euro Aussie, Pound Aussie, New Zealand CAD, Aussie CAD. Pay attention to those pairs because they might move those pairs going forward. Okay, let's move on to crude oil. Give me 1 second. Okay, crude oil. I think we spoke about price coming to potentially attack this low here into where I gave a potential buy for this week, and then we might resume going back up again. I think that's the case. So long in, that was the entry here with a stop loss, and then a continuation to this candle's low and high. It missed it by a few pips. I think we might resume going up there. Okay, so I'm looking for that continuation. The only problem is entry is going to be a little bit hard for you to get in, but that's what I think is going to happen. Okay, we are going to go all the way up there. So I don't know how to give you an entry on this. Maybe wait for the New York session, the purple line, and then look for a run below a low with a rejection. That would be the best entry, like something like this. Right, we run this low here, then we reject and we pull back, and then you buy. So during the New York session, look for something like that, and there is still room to that level. So anytime that kind of pattern happens, then you get in to trade in that direction. Don't force to get in here because that will be chasing price. Yes. Okay, so yesterday I got killed. I got killed by ES. Not really killed because initially my trade was good, but the expectation was for them to reach a little bit higher, which was here. Okay, my expectation was for them to reach there. So my first trade was doing the purple line on the fifth, I think it was on the 15 minutes. Yeah, on the 15 minutes. So I bought this gap. This one. So I bought that one to aim for this and then that. But what happened was when I bought it, I only bought it with one contract. I bought it with one contract. I bought it with one contract, and when it got up there, I couldn't take partial because on ES you can't take partial with one contract. So I wanted to take partial here and then leave the rest to go up there. But since I bought it with one contract, I couldn't do that. So when it was retracing over here on the lower time frame, I bought it again to add onto the one contract that I had on the 1 minute chart over here. But both of them had my stop loss below this down candle. Okay, most of them had the stop loss below this down candle, and it did stay there for a few times, and then ultimately I got kicked out. So my profitable trade turned into a loss because I was looking to add onto the position so I can take partial. Now, when I got into the second entry, had price gone up here, then I would have taken the partial and then left the rest, but it didn't do that and it stopped me out. Then I highlighted the H4 fair value gap, which is this zone here. Price hit that, rejected, and then once it was rejecting again, I took a long, and that also did not play out. And finally, I took one more long, I think, no, here, it was still here. I added to the long, so I bought one here and then bought one there. I added to that long with my stop loss right where I got stopped out, and then that was it, and I stopped. I didn't take any trade again because that was 2 losses in a row, and I left it. So that was the story of yesterday. So my account took a big hit yesterday. So the second trade, I took a loss of 3 grand, and then the first one, both of them were 2 contracts, so you can see big hit on that, but still okay. All right, that's trading for you. You will take losses, it's part of the game. So let's see. I think today I don't have a session with my students, so I'm not gonna actually take any trade, but if I see something nice on it, I will take a trade. I still think we should be coming up here based on the weekly time frame. Okay, so based on the weekly, so the idea behind it was we've taken out a weekly low, we need to take out a weekly high. So that was the logic behind why I was looking for the long. Why I was looking for the long. So it did take out this side. That was where the rejection happened, and then I was expecting for it to go up here. So on the lower time frame, that was the high that price took out, that rejected right there, and then rejected. And I still think it will come for this one. So let's see this New York session. If it does present something good, then I will look into it. Okay, so that's that. But look into gold, because I think gold will resume going up, and then maybe crude oil will give an entry, so watch that as well. Okay, let's now move on to the crypto market. So AI16, watch this high, and that's, if we break this, then we will have meaningful push to the upside. Okay, I like the fact they've left this gap with this down candle right in front of it. I would have preferred they go without pulling back as they're doing now, but you know, you don't control price, so you have to take what is giving you. Okay, you don't control price, so you have to take what's being given to you. Now with this move into this, I will expect them to reject and go back up again, but again, it depends on Bitcoin, right? It depends on Bitcoin. I think yesterday I wanted them to create a gap, creating a big candle, and then today going up to leave a gap, but we are retracing into this. So expect a rejection to go up, or expect this candle to stay as a down candle as a reaccumulation, and then the next one will expand up. This high as it stands is going to be the draw on liquidity. the monthly high, the March high. I think that's where price is gonna go. And as we are expecting that, I'll be watching how the week is gonna close, because the week is what I'm paying attention to right now. Okay, I'm not paying attention to the daily, because the daily has done its bit, but the week needs to sustain it. We don't want this weekly candle to reject and come all the way back down to close below this low. So the week needs to sustain the move above this, especially with this gap inside it. Okay, this one. Okay, that needs to stay open, and the next weekly candle can act as a resistance to form the low in there and then expand up again. Okay, Ethereum. So if you do get that, then definitely this will also resume going up again. Okay, and Solana needs to also close above the weekly high. This high here, we need to close above it. Ethereum, so it did manage to close above the gap on a daily basis. The same thing. We need this candle, or we need the gap, this, to stay open. When I say stay open, it's fine for them to dip into it, but not to come all the way down and close here. Okay, so as long as that stays open, then we will expect them to trade up into somewhere here. Maybe it might face some sort of resistance somewhere in here. Yeah, it might encounter some resistance in here, but ultimately I think we will expect them to trade higher. So expect a continuation to the upside. Hype. Okay, so down candle still holding, looking for price to go up here. Okay, nothing has really changed. I think this is a nice pullback opportunity for a continuation to the upside, even though we don't have a decent area, which is either a fair value gap or an auto block for price to reject and go higher. I still think that will be the case. I still think that is the case. So expect hype to resume going up again. Unless we lose the down candle, then everything changes. But from what I'm seeing, that will be the case. I still think the down candle, then everything changes. We might sustain. From what I'm seeing, we might sustain the tomorrow will be the candle that moves higher. Okay, cool. XRP, okay, they've come back into it. That's not good. It did trade below this, but it did not close. So what I would want to see is for this candle not to close below that and give the rejection. So again, today is likely going to be either a reaccumulation or it needs to go all the way back up again. And then tomorrow we'll print an up candle. So on the 1 hour time frame, watch this up candle. Like that. Tatsuo. I think the narrative is on the weekly. We need the weekly to stay above previous week high, and at the same time we want the monthly to also reject this low as it is, and then next month it's so far it's looking good in my opinion. Whatever happens, we've got about 6 days to go, or yeah, we've got 6 days to go for the end of the month. If we close down here, this high will be the draw on liquidity. So in 6 days time, if we are not back up here, that will be the draw on liquidity, and if they get that, they might spread up to get that one as well. So watch here. Okay, so that is that for Tatsuo, and then finally Tatsuki. A break above this will be necessary. I think yesterday couldn't close. You still not close through it, and then yesterday also rejected. Let's see if today can close, because if you watch this, that's the candle's low or the gap high that did not close. The wick is fine, it can do all that all day long, but the closing price is important. This also did not close, so today might be the close, and then we might challenge the up candle. Okay, so watch today's candle and see if we can close, then we can make a challenge for this up candle. And then all that I said about Bitcoin is going to reflect on this. If Bitcoin does what I'm expecting, this will go up. If not, this will come back down. But I would rather not want to see that. This is still in the initial phase of consolidation, so we need a big push away from it. Right, that's why yesterday I was looking for a big candle, because that will signify our first area of it will signify our area of consolidation. Then the big move will then start our accumulation, then move, then accumulation. But it is what it is. Let's take what they give us and then we work with it. So right now, this is our resistance support level to send price up here. Okay, so that is that. I hope you got something out of it. Pay attention to the pairs that I gave, the crosses, because if they keep the dollar in the consolidation during this New York session, the crosses are the one to move. All right. Okay, so enjoy your afternoon, and then I'll see you all same time tomorrow. I'm actually gonna send this trade right now to the portal. Okay, take care.